hands if you got 6 hours of sleep. 5, 4, 3. Okay. All right. Anyway, I hope everyone got some sleep. I got a little bit, not as much as I'd like, but good. So this was one of the most significant legislative days we've had in a long time here in the United States Senate. But we still have a long road to travel. It's as if we caught a pass, a nice long pass at midfield, but we still have 50 yards to go before we score a touchdown. But it's still good to make that pass and make that advance. What we saw yesterday is very simple, that elections matter, the American people's votes matter, and Democrats are working hard to keep the promises we made to the American people when we won the majority. Earlier this year, as you know, we passed the American Rescue Plan, which helped put checks in people's pockets, shots in people's arms, and save small businesses and our economy. Now we're going from rescue to recovery, to make the economy, to make the American people's lives even better than it was before COVID, because there were so many structural problems in our economy, and there became a sourness in the land that we very much want to remove. At the two-track strategy, which I outlined earlier this year, is moving full steam ahead. When I first said we were going to pass both the bipartisan infrastructure bill and the budget resolution before we broke for the August recess, many said it was an impossible task. But Democrats in the Senate are determined, fiercely determined, to move President Biden's Build Back Better agenda forward. Sometimes it took a little prodding. It took working weekends, late nights, cloture motions. But we kept working at it. I kept prodding the bipartisan group to go forward, pushing them when they needed pushing, giving them more time and breathing space when they needed more time and breathing space. And that bill passed yesterday. But now we have to keep working at it, and I'm very pleased to report that the two-track strategy is right on track. As I said, first we passed the bipartisan infrastructure package with all 50 Democrats and 19 Republicans. Every Democrat voted for both the bipartisan bill and the resolution, the budget resolution. Every Democrat voted for both. And the first bill, the bipartisan bill, was a long overdue step to revitalize America's infrastructure and give our workers, our businesses, our economies the tools to succeed in the 21st century. The bipartisan infrastructure bill will put America on track to lead the 21st century in both productivity and job creation for decades to come. While the bipartisan infrastructure bill is a very significant bill, my entire caucus agrees that there's much more that needs to be done. So on the second track, we passed a robust budget resolution that will grow the middle class in the 21st century and give more Americans a chance to get into the middle class. Keep those in the middle class and assure them they're going to stay there. They're worried about it. Help those trying to climb that ladder to get into the middle class to get there more easily. That's our mission. That's our goal. And frankly, that is my passion. That is what motivates me in working as hard as I can to get this going forward. The Democratic budget resolution is transformational. It's probably the most significant single piece of legislation that we have seen, certainly in decades, and Bernie Sanders thinks since Roosevelt. And he's pushing for big change. It'll cut taxes, lower costs for the American people, create good-paying jobs, invest in our future, while tackling the climate change crisis. It's big, it's bold, it's strong. And it'll be paid for by making our tax code more progressive and more fair without raising taxes on working families and small businesses, by asking corporations and the wealthy to pay their share. It boils the average American's blood when they see multi-billionaires paying virtually no taxes. And that was done by the Republicans under Donald Trump. It was reported that you had a greater chance of being audited if you made $40,000 a year than if you made $40 million a year, because they decided to go after the cheaters of the earned income tax credit. But that's where the Republican Party is these days, with the very wealthy, the very powerful, and the right wing who doesn't want to see government help the people at all. So, the job, make it easier for the middle-class Americans to stay in the middle class and build ladders into the middle class for hard-working people. And let me just say something about this. This is my gut. For the last 20 years, there's been a sourness in the land. America, the American character has always been, for centuries, a bright, sunny, optimistic character. The American dream, very simple. It says, the average American would say, it means if I work hard, I'll be doing better 10 years from now than I'm doing today, and my kids will be doing still better than me. That faded. It created a sourness in the land, and in my judgment, it elected a man who had such awful values and was so divisive as Donald Trump. The mission, it's a mission, is to not allow that to happen again. And the way to do that is to restore that American dream and give middle-class Americans, poor Americans, hope for the future. They don't expect us to snap our fingers and get it all done at once. But they sure expect us to give them some hope and some progress, and that's what we're trying to do with both bills, So let me say, what we're doing here isn't easy. We've labored for months and months to reach this point, and we have no illusions. Maybe the hardest work is yet to come, but we are united in a desire to get it done. And so far, so good. And I think my entire caucus can say with absolute certainty that it's worth doing, and I believe we will get the job done. Last night, I convened a meeting with the chairs of all the committees tasked with crafting the reconciliation bill, and I've given them a deadline of producing a bill that can be presented to the full caucus and passed in the Senate as soon as possible. Every committee chair is going to be meeting at least on a weekly basis, maybe more often, with their members, and we will do weekly Zooms with them as well. We're going to be working very hard in the next few weeks, the next month, frankly, to get that reconciliation bill ready in September. That's a hard job and such a large, important bill, but we're going to roll up our sleeves and work to get it done.